What is serialization and deserialization in Java? So serialization in Java is just a mechanism of writing the state of an object into a byte stream. Now, we really want to convert the object in a byte stream so that it's easier for Java to write that particular object directly into the database. So we are actually going to study about Hibernate and JPA, which is helping us to write the state of the object in the database. For that, we really need to convert the state of the object into a byte stream. So that is known as serialization. The deserialization is, just the opposite process in which we convert the byte stream from the database into an object of Java. Now, how do we do that? That is done using the serializable interface which is created in Java. So let me actually try to create a new class. Let's say, for example, I would call it student. And now this student, now student is already defined, so I'll just write it student1. Now it is something which is defined within this package. And let's try to now rename this particular file to student1.java. So yes, we have the student1, and now what we really want to do is implement the serializable interface in this. So this implements serializable, and why I want to do that is because I want to convert this particular object to a byte stream. Now we just simply have to import it and we'll be able to use it. So let's say, for example, I have ID of the student, and let's say I have the name of the student, and then probably we could have a constructor as well. So let's create a constructor using the fields. So we do have this particular constructor as well. Now once we have the student1 class, I actually want to create a new class which is going to work with the database. So I would just write persist in DB, and in this persist in DB, what I would want to do is I would want to actually create the main method first, and in this I want to create the student1 object s1, and this is going to be new student1, and I'm actually just going to give some random ID of 1 and the name of student1. That's it. Now what I want to do is actually I want to create a file output stream, fout, let's say, and I'm just going to create it using the new keyword as usual. And again, I would just want to work with the hello.txt. Now let's do the necessary imports. Okay, so now it says, surround it with the try catch, which we are going to do. Now over here, once we have this particular file output stream object, I actually want to work with the object output stream. So I create object output stream, and I would just call it out, and we have this new object output stream with the file output stream. And now what we have is out.write object. This is the method which I want to use, write object, and I want to actually write this particular object s1, which is the student1 which we have, and then I would just flush it. This is the syntax which you're supposed to use, out.flush, and finally you're going to close this particular stream. What I would do is out.close, and then finally I would just write that object serialization successful. Now here it says to add the exception to the catch clause, or create a new catch clause. So we are going to do that, and let's save this. Now once we save this, let's try to now run this. And now it says object serialization successful, and when we actually refresh this particular project, we have this hello.txt, and in this we do have, some data, but obviously we are not able to understand what is there. This is the serialized object which we have gotten. Now let's actually try to work, in the reverse direction. Let's try to actually deserialize the data from this particular file and actually convert it to our student1 object. So for that, what I'll do is I'll actually create a new class, and this is something which I would, let's say, call dPersist from DB. Now in this, I'm actually going to create again, a main method, and then create an object input stream. I really want you to not get too scared about, this whole syntax, the new syntax which you are learning right now. The simple reason for that is because, every time you actually are going to work on a particular task, the documentation really helps you in, helping you with the syntax. So you don't have to stress about the syntax, but yeah, you need to know that, what you are wanting to work with, what do you want to do exactly. You want to deserialize, you want to depersist from the DB. What you want to do is basically read from the database and actually convert it to a Java object. That's exactly what you want to do, right? So now we are actually going to read from a database. Let's say hello.txt file is the database which we have, and we really want to take the object from there and we want to convert it to a deserializable form. So let me just do the necessary imports over here and, surround it with a try catch block. And now once we have this particular, object input stream, what I want to do is convert that into a student 1, and again, we would just call it S1, and this is going to be in.read object, and this is how we are actually going to read that particular thing from this object input stream. And we'll actually have to add a cast to make sure that, this is a student 1. And we'll add a new catch clause as well, just in case, it throws an error. And now what we'll do is, we have this S1. What we want to do is we want to actually use this S1. So what I'll do is, I just want to understand, what is the ID of the S1, and let's say, the name of S1. So I want to get these two things, and I want to, print that. And once this is done, I just want to close this particular resource. Again, remember to keep closing this, but any resource which you have opened. And when I try to actually now run this particular program, now as you can see, it correctly gave us, the ID 1 and the name student 1, even though we actually did not create an S1 with the ID 1 and student 1 in this particular program, but it actually read from the hello.txt and it actually, did the deserialization for us. So this was, I hope, in a simple way you understood how we could actually write to a file a state of an object and read from the file what this object really, has the data. Remember that, if you are actually dealing with inheritance, then if there is any class which is implementing the serializable interface, then all its subclasses. So if you did have, any subclasses of student 1, let's say, then that would also be serialized. Okay, so you will be able to actually convert it from the object to a byte stream. Also, let's say, for example, within your student 1 class, you actually had an object of any other class. Let's say, you have this student S, and then, you want to actually serialize the student 1. So make sure that even the student or any other class which you would have, within this particular class, which we call aggregation, right? We already saw what is the meaning of aggregation. We saw that, there can be an object of another class within, another class. So if you do have, make sure that everything implements serializable so that you are easily able to convert this particular object of student 1 to a byte stream. Also remember that whenever you are converting the state of an object in a byte stream, it converts the state of the object and not the class. So if you have anything static, let's say you have a static int I like this, and let's say you initialized it to 0, this I would not be a part of your object, okay? What you are doing is just converting the object state in a byte stream and not, the class or anything related to the class. So remember that about serialization. And the last thing, to work with serialization, you really want to make sure that, your application has security, that you are working with the correct data. And you can see over here there's a warning coming up, and it says the serializable class does not declare a static final serial version UID field of type long. And this particular field is really important to make sure that, the thing which you are working on is exactly the same. So what we can do is, we can add a default serial version ID, or we can add a generated one. So let's, add some default over here, or let's actually implement a generated. So this is actually going to generate a pretty long string for us. It's actually a long integer, and let's now save it. And when we actually try to work with this particular code, let's try to run this. Now it says object serialization successful, and let's try to run this again. And we do have this particular thing. Now let's actually change the long, and now when we try to run this again, now it gives an error. It says local class incompatible stream class DESC serial version UID so and so. So that means it says that the serial version UID are different, and the thing which was created was with serial version ID something else, but what you are telling me to depersist is something else. So this actually gives us a very good security while working with serializable interfaces, so that we are actually not doing anything wrong within the database and not reading anything wrong from the database. So this is also something which you need to know while working with serializable, and not get scared by looking at a long number whenever you see somebody's code with the serializable implementation. So that's about working with files, writing to a file, reading to a file, writing an object to a file, reading an object from a file. I hope you are pretty clear with all these concepts, and practicing is really going to help you, and solving any relevant problems is really going to help you with all these concepts in case you are confused in any way.